What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Mello. Police brutality has unfortunately struck again, and this time it's black cops behind the destruction. 29-year-old Tyre-Nichols died 3 days later after being hospitalized for an arrest that took place on January 7th. CNN wrote a really good article detailing a timeline of the incident, and I wanted to take a closer look with you all. On January 7th at approximately 8:30 p.m., officers pulled over a vehicle for suspected reckless driving, according to a statement from Memphis police. A confrontation occurred between officers and the vehicle's driver, later identified as Nichols, who then fled on foot, according to Memphis police. Officers apprehended him and another confrontation occurred, resulting in Nichols' arrest, police said. An ambulance was called to the scene of the arrest after Nichols complained of shortness of breath, police said, and he was transported to a nearby hospital in critical condition. On January 10th, 3 days after the stop, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation announced Nichols had died due to injuries sustained in the use of force incident with officers, according to a statement. January 15th, police provide update on investigation. Following the traffic stop, the officers involved were relieved of duty, a standard departmental procedure while an investigation into their use of force began, Memphis police said. The TBI and the Shelby County District Attorney's offices were also enlisted to investigate. Preliminary findings indicated the serious nature of the officers' conduct during the stop, police said. After reviewing various sources of information involving this incident, I have found that it is necessary to take immediate and appropriate action, Chief Davis said in a statement released January 15th. Today, the department is serving notice to the officers involved of the impending administrative actions. The department needed to follow a required procedural process before disciplining or terminating government civil servant employees, the statement added. January 18th, federal investigation declared. On January 18th, the Department of Justice said a civil rights investigation has been opened into the death of Nichols. Last week, Tyre tragically died a few days after he was involved in an incident where Memphis Police Department officers used force during his arrest. Kevin G. Ritz, U.S. Attorney for the Western District of Tennessee, said in a statement. January 20th, officers named and fired. After its internal investigation, Memphis police identified and fired 5 officers involved in a traffic stop due to the violation of multiple department policies. Officers Tadarrius Bean, Demetrius Haley, Emmitt Martin III, Desmond Mills Jr., and Justin Smith were terminated for failing in their excessive use of force, duty to intervene, and duty to render aid, the department said in a statement. The egregious nature of this incident is not a reflection of the good work our officers perform with integrity every day, Davis said. On January 23rd, the family views police video. After meeting with officials to watch the unreleased police video of the arrest, Nichols' family and their attorney described the horror at what they saw. Tyre-Nichols' family attorney says video shows police beating Nichols like a human piñata. He was defenseless the entire time. He was a human piñata for those police officers. It was an unadulterated, unabashed, a non-stop beating of this young boy for 3 minutes. That is what we saw in that video, Romanucci said. Not only was it violent, it was savage. On January 26th, the officers was charged. A grand jury indicted the 5 officers fired by Memphis police on several charges, according to the county's district attorney. Martin III, Smith, Bean, Haley, and Mills Jr. were each charged with second-degree murder, aggravated assault, 2 charges of aggravated kidnapping, 2 charges of official misconduct, and 1 charge of official oppression, according to both Shelby County Criminal Court and Shelby County Jail records. While each of the 5 individuals played a different role in the incident in question, the actions of all of them resulted in the death of Tyre-Nichols, and they are all responsible, Murray said during a news conference. All 5 former officers reported to Shelby County Jail on Thursday, with 4 bonding out by early Friday morning, jail records showed. On January 27th, video footage was released. The city of Memphis released police video camera and surveillance video showing a traffic stop and violent police confrontation that led to Nichols' killing, including officers hitting Nichols at least 9 times without visible provocation. It goes on to say the video contains a little over an hour of footage of Tyre-Nichols' deadly encounter with police and includes 3 body camera videos and a video showing an overhead view. Footage shows officers hitting Nichols repeatedly in the face while his hands were restrained. At some point, Nichols cries out to his mothers as officers surround him. You know, that last part was one of the hardest parts for me, was the fact that he cried out for his mother while these police were beating him. Now, if you all recall, as George Floyd was dying as well, he also cried out to his mom. May Tyre rest in peace, and my condolences goes out to his family. I think what I find most interesting, along with other people, is just how fast these officers were charged and relieved of duty. Justice is only happening so fast because these officers are black. It seems like whenever a white cop kills someone, there's just so many hoops and leaps they have to jump through to charge and arrest them. You know, I've said it before and I'll say it again, whether you and I want to admit it or not, America is run by white men. So there's just always going to be a double standard when it comes to black people. But in order to understand why a lot of white cops are never charged and are protected by the system, you have to understand where the police system comes from. The police system is a direct descendant of slave patrols. In an article by the NAACP, it says the origins of modern day policing can be traced back to the slave patrol. The earliest formal slave patrol was created in the Carolinas in the early 1700s with one mission: to establish a system of terror and squash slave uprisings with the capacity to pursue, apprehend, and return runaway slaves to their owners. Tactics included the use of excessive force to control and produce desired slave behavior. It says slave patrols continued until the end of the Civil War and the passage of the 13th Amendment. Following the Civil War, during Reconstruction, slave patrols were replaced by militant-style groups who were empowered to control and deny access to equal rights to freed slaves. They relentlessly and systematically enforced black codes, strict local and state laws that regulated and restricted access to labor, wages, voting rights, and general freedoms for formerly enslaved people. In 1868, ratification of the 14th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution technically granted equal protections to African Americans, essentially abolishing black codes. Jim Crow laws and state and local statutes that legalized racial segregation swiftly took their place. By the 1900s, local municipalities began to establish police departments to enforce local laws in the East and Midwest, including Jim Crow laws. Local municipalities leaned on police to enforce and exert excessive brutality on African Americans who violated any Jim Crow law. Jim Crow laws continued through the end of the 1960s. Now, I'm going to read to you all the oath that slave patrols took back in the day and the oath that police officers take in modern day. And I want you all to pay very close attention because you'll notice some similarities. The slave patrol's oath is, I, patroller's name, do swear that I will, as searcher for guns, swords, and other weapons among the slaves in my district, faithfully and as privately as I can, discharge the trust reposed in me as the law directs, to the best of my power, so help me God. And this is the oath that police officers take today. I, officer's name, do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear truth, faith, and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California, that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter. So not only was the slave patrol officer's oath and the police officer's oath today very similar, but let's also take a look at the police badges. So as you can see, the police badges even look the same. You know, it's the same, it's pretty much the same thing. On the left, there's a runaway slave patrol, and on the right, there's the sheriff's badge. Pretty eerie, isn't it? I think this is why it's crucial for officers to undergo a massive restructure and training, because the mentality and operation is still the same. Again, modern police officers are something that descends directly from slavery times. And until something drastically changes, we as black people will always be the main target. But look, these are just my black man thoughts. Now it's time to hear from you all and your thoughts on yet another police brutality incident. If you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up or thumbs down as that's okay too. Go ahead and drop a comment down below and let me know your thoughts on this video. What do you think about the fact that the officers involved this time were black? How do you feel knowing the fact that police officers today stem directly from slave patrols? And as always, if you're not already, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel and make sure to hit that post notification bell so you don't miss out on any videos as I do upload them weekly. I hope everyone has a great rest of their day out there. Please be safe. You know, I understand that a lot of people are protesting, so if you choose to do that, just please be smart about it and, you know, stay safe. Take care out there, and I'll catch you all on the next video.